Good morning, everybody. It is your Daily Crypto News. It's Thursday, March 28th, 2024. My name is Matt, and I'm going to do my Pro Protocol intro. Please, if you are listening to Apple Podcasts, go to Apple Podcasts, click those 5 stars, leave us a comment. It helps people read those comments because people do read those comments, and they go, hey, this sounds like a good show. We're going to click on it. And if you have left a comment, I appreciate you. If you're on Spotify, please hit those 5 stars because there's a little star rating thing there. Just go click on that 5 stars and people go, wow, this podcast has 85 stars or 105 stars. And then they listen to the podcast and go, oh, this is not bad. I can see why it has 5 stars. So I appreciate you if you've done that. And if you want to head over to our Substack, pop and subscribe to our Substack for free. If you are a subscriber, we are making a slew of extra bonus material for you so that if you subscribe to our Substack, only you can see it. We have a couple interviews coming out this week. No, actually not this week, but next week. And we have our weekly roundup with Sarah and myself. Sarah is the host of DCN Korea and Asia Focus on this show. And so we will be doing that weekly. And we also have other added bonuses that's going to be in our subscription. So please head over there and think of subscribing. And a quick shout out to our lawyer, our legal counsel on this show, Jeff. Jeff sent in because we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about the trial for the developer of Tornado Cash. And what's happening in this case is that the Tornado Cash developer, he speaks Russian. They're in a Dutch court and he has a translator between Russian, English, and Dutch. And a lot of things are being lost in translation. I recommended a movie the other day, Anatomy of a Fall, that deals with this in a courtroom setting. But that is obviously a made-up drama. And so Jeff, our legal counsel here, again, he's not our legal counsel, he's just a lawyer that listens to the show. But he sent me a text yesterday that said, if you want a real-life version of people being interrogated in different languages, you might want to check out the Amanda Knox situation in Italy. It's a documentary on Netflix. So Amanda Knox, Knox. He said that if you want to get a flavor of how screwed up it is in courtroom and trying to interpret text messages in different languages and intent from those text messages, then you might want to watch that. So check that out. Let's get into Daily Crypto News. In about 50 minutes from now at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, Sam Bankman-Fried's sentencing starts. And so, if you guys remember, I hope you remember, on November 3rd, Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty of all 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy. Those counts are committing and conspiring to commit wire fraud on FTX customers, committing and conspiring to commit wire fraud on Alameda Research lenders, conspiring to commit securities and commodities fraud against FTX customers, and conspiring to commit money laundering to hide the proceeds of wire fraud on FTX's customers. Those are bad. Co-founder of FTX and Chief Technology Officer Gary Wang and the former head of engineering Nashad Singh were 2 key witnesses who took the stand for several days to talk about their involvement with the scheme. Also, ex-girlfriend and CEO of Alameda Research, Caroline Ellison, took the stand as well. They all 3 testified against Sam Bankman-Fried, and because of this, he might be looking at the prosecutor is recommending up to 50 years in prison. That's actually down from the plausible or possible 100+ years he was going to get, but the prosecutor is saying, hey, 50 would be okay. His current age is 32 years old, so if he does get 50 years, it's going to be 82 years old when he gets out. He probably could get out for good. In long story short, he's going to be old or dead by the time he gets out if he gets 50 years. However, his defense is arguing that they should only give him 6 years. FTX creditors are likely to get the majority of their funds back, so no harm, no foul. I guess they're calling this, a victimless crime these days? And if it's a little bit of a victimless crime, then maybe only 6 years would do. Long story short is we're going to see what happens in about, 50 minutes from now. The sentencing starts. We'll see how long Sam Bankman-Fried will be behind bars. With that said, I hope Nashad Singh, Gary Wang, and Caroline Ellison also get some years behind prison. I'll be absolutely livid if they were literally living in the same house, conspiring with each other, sleeping with each other, doing drugs together, and robbing people for billions of dollars, and 3 of them get to walk off scot-free. Maybe I should go back and re-record the intro and call this show Daily Legal News. We started with Amanda Knox and Anatomy of a Fall, looking at courtrooms and translation. Then we went to sentencing with Sam Bankman-Fried. And now we're looking at Coinbase, the SEC lawsuit against Coinbase is moving forward. And so what's happening? Well, a federal judge overseeing the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's sweeping lawsuit against Coinbase ruled Wednesday that the regulator's arguments against Coinbase Exchange are largely plausible, permitting the case to proceed and denying Coinbase's motion to dismiss in its entirety. So when a judge looks to dismiss a case, they're looking to see if there's not plausible evidence that a law has been violated. And this is assuming when all the facts are alleged to be true, which is a high bar because plausibility and then you're assuming all the facts to be true means that more likely or not, they're going to be taking this case to court. So in this ruling, U.S. District Judge Kathleen Fila not only found that most of the SEC's claims against Coinbase are fit for trial, but also indicated support for the agency's broader, long-standing argument about crypto, that many tokenized assets constitute security schemes and fall under the SEC's purview. She said that crypto nomenclature may be of recent vintage, but the challenged transactions fall comfortably within the framework that the court has used to identify securities for nearly 80 years. And they are saying that Coinbase operates an unregistered securities exchange for retail and institutional investors, and that its crypto staking program constitutes additional offerings for unregistered securities. There is a third claim against Coinbase, and that's via the Coinbase wallet, and that's that Coinbase conducts brokerage activities using Coinbase wallet. That was dismissed by the judge. Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase, Paul Graywall, he said that we were prepared for this. Early motions like ours against the government agency are almost always denied, but clearly is the ultimate goal, and today's discussion continues on that path. Buried within this judge's ruling, by the way, this is an 84-page judgment, was a rejection of Coinbase's claim that the SEC has violated federal law by failing to disclose its crypto policy. She said that the SEC is not announcing a new regulatory policy, but rather simply engaging in fact-intensive application of the existing standard, an application that Coinbase also conducted to determine whether certain transactions involving crypto assets meet the characteristics of an investment contract. So let me talk about that again. Coinbase originally claimed that, hey, you're being vague, SEC. You're not giving us rules of the road. We don't know what a security is. These are crypto assets. Let us know what to do. And the judge is saying, like, look, here's precedent. It's 80 years. You knew what was going on, so we're going to figure this out in court. So you know what an investment contract is. We're going to court. This is what she's saying in her judgment. Now, how that plays out in court might be different, but this is why they're going to court. So Jeff, if you're listening, what's the usual timeline of this case for a case like this? How long do we got? Because here's what I assume. I assume that the ruling of this case is going to determine if U.S. residents and U.S. citizens have access to a lot of these altcoins. And that means if you've aped into certain coins on Coinbase, they might not be there. And if they determine that Coinbase is, slanging unregistered securities on their exchange, that's going to impact every exchange in the United States. That means you, U.S. citizen, cannot hodl some or most altcoins. But we don't know what that means still. We know Bitcoin is not a security. ETH, so far it's not, but we still kind of don't know, but we kind of do know. But then what about Bitcoin forks? Bitcoin Cash? Litecoin? Dogecoin? What about layer ones? Because ETH, if it's a commodity, what about other layer ones? Cardano, Solana, and so on. But what about layer twos that hop onto the ETH just to make their, transactions faster and to improve other aspects of scalability? See, there's a plethora of questions that are going to come out of this case, and all of it's going to affect your pocketbook. Let's move over to BlackRock. BlackRock's Ethereum-based BUIDL fund has raised around $245 million in Ethereum tokens since its launch last week, beginning with $5 million on March 20th when the BUIDL fund launched. Over the next 7 days, an additional $240 million flowed into ERC-20-based funds, including $92 million that flowed into the Ondo short-term U.S. government Treasuries tokenized fund, basically tokenized government treasuries, short-term government treasuries. I said that kind of confusing, but you get what I'm saying. And that kind of transitions perfectly into the next story that over $1 billion in U.S. Treasury notes have been tokenized on public blockchains. And the market value of this has risen nearly tenfold since January and 18% since BlackRock announced its Ethereum-based BUIDL fund. Now let's stop talking about BUIDL and let's talk about HODL, crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Before we get into the crypto prices, I want you to click a link in the show notes. It's from The Block, and The Block has a nice dashboard looking at Bitcoin ETFs. We see different widgets in there for spot versus futures ETFs. We see total inflows, net inflows, assets under management dailies, the comparison between the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and the spot Bitcoin ETFs. It's actually a very nice dashboard. So if you want to look at the Bitcoin ETF happenings, click that link. Fear Greed is at 81, extremely greedy. Just caught this headline this morning that Bitcoin is going to have $15 billion of options expiring, which means we can see volatility in the upside. Bitcoin is sitting at $70,788, up 1% in 24. Ethereum is number 2 at $3,574, pretty much even. Tether's number 3. Binance is up 1% at $583, and Solana is down 2% at $183.57. Running up the top 10, we have XRP, USDC. Dogecoin is up 15.5% or 42% in a week. It's at 21.6 cents. What is going on there? I think it has to do with Mr. Elon Musk and his X and his Grok. And Grok is saying that you can send people Dogecoin on X/Twitter. So, maybe people are aping it. Are we going to get to all-time high Dogecoins in the future? Hope you are stacking sats. This is not financial advice. Cardano is number 9, and Avalanche is number 10. The total market cap is in at $2.65 trillion, a Bitcoin dominance of 52.3, and an ETH dominance of 16.2. And that was our show today. Thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow, and on Substack, we will have our weekly roundup. Until then, happy hodling, everyone.